So, are you impacted directly or indirectly because of the change in custom duty tariff on chapter number 5407, specifically for the taffeta based fabrics, which is used for lining as well as for outerwear as well? In this video, I shall be discussing and giving you clarification about what this change is about, why this was important for the trade, and how it is going to impact the trade in general in the Indian context. Hello friends, my name is Chetan Agarwal from Polyester Private Limited. We have been providing solutions to the Indian market primarily by importing a lot of these fabrics from various countries like China, Taiwan, Korea, and at the same time also doing productions in India for a lot of knitted fabrics. So in this video, as I was promising you, first let's understand why this was important. So I'm referring to a report by CII on typically on sports textiles. So here what is important is to understand what is the extent of the fabric being imported. So we're talking about 5407. So you can clearly see over here the synthetic woven fabric, which is the taffeta category, which is chapter number 5407 under discussion. The average amount of import was 1947 crores. So that's roughly about 2000 crore worth of goods were imported into India in the year 2019. Right, so you do understand that when I talk about 2000 crores of fabric being imported into India, that's like a big amount of goods which is coming in. Yeah, so roughly about 180 crores worth of goods, 170 crore worth of goods coming into the country every year. So that's why this was a very important category for the finance ministry to look at when they have advised some changes in this. So what was the import duty earlier? So I'm referring to the custom tariff firstly, and then I'll give you clarity one by one. So this is the custom tariff of India. So let's look at 540761 particularly over here. So you see, when I look at 54061, the custom tariff of India, which stays unchanged, I would say, so that is showing as 25% or 150 per kg, whichever is higher, right? So that applies to majorly all the taffeta fabric would be imported into this particular head, which is 540769190, and classified as other, which also says 25% or 150 per kg, whichever is higher. So that's what the custom tariff reads. Now, when I look at that, it is also important to look at one of the notifications which has been in existence since 2006, I would say. So this is the notification also, custom notification number 14/2006, which is dated 1st March 2006. Yeah, so this particular copy that I'm referring to is an amendment which was done in 2017. I can show you this here as well. So this was an amendment which is done in 2017. This is the notification number, under which, let's see what happens, is 5407. I'll refer again, 61. So this is what. So the 25% tariff, earlier since 2006 there was an exemption of the 150 per kg. So overall what we were paying as an industry is 540761, other than upholstery fabrics, so that's where the apparel fabrics would fall in. We were paying a 20% flat duty on all these fabrics on the value of the import, right? So let's see what is the new change which is coming. So this is the new amendment which is coming. You can see this is dated 1st Feb 2022, amendment number 0072022. So what the government has done over here is that whatever fabrics were being imported under 5407, let me take you there as well directly so that you see this. So 540761, so now that 20%, the duty exemption which was given earlier has been rescinded. That duty benefit has been removed now. So effectively now the effective rate is 20% or 150 per kg, whichever is higher. This, so you can see mentioned the substituted by notification number dated 1st of 2022. So in the custom tariff they have brought this new notification under which that duty benefit of 150 per kg is not being given now. So any import which is coming into the country would be subject to this applicable import duty. So again, it would be important to understand what is the actual impact that we are looking at. So I have done a brief calculation for the benefit of all to give you a little perspective as to where we are standing as a trade and what impact are we looking at. Yeah, so I have taken up two cases over here. So that's the first case where I have taken up 100% polyester woven plain dyed fabric made of non-textile filament yarn. So typically that's the HSN for the description for this HSN that we're talking about, which has been impacted. So I have taken the first case, which is basically for a regular taffeta fabric, which is generally used in a lining. So I've taken some prices just for reference purposes, for your understanding purposes. So, and the second case I would be talking about is for a shell fabric, which is taken at $1.5 per meter. I've taken CAF USD prices. So I've taken a 50 cents and a $1.5, two examples, and I'll be showing you how it is being impacted. So effectively, when I look at 50 cents taking at 75 rupees exchange rate and a 65 GSM fabric, which is typically the weight for a taffeta lining fabric, and this, so we get roughly about 10.26 meters in a kg. So the applicable custom duty is 20% of 150 per kg, whichever is higher. So you can see earlier the applicable duty was 20%, right? So which was giving me a 7.5 rupees was my implication on import duty. Yeah, that against this 150 per kg gives me 14.625 is the import duty. So 150 divided by 10.26 gives me 14.625, right? So effectively you would see that the differential in the import duty, which is 7.125 rupees. So that's from 7.5 the duty went to say 14.625, effectively 7 rupees is the differential. So in a percentage term, there's like a 95% duty increase which has happened for this particular category that we talk about. So effectively the duty payable now is 14.625. Against this, when I talk about a shell fabric, yeah, which is maybe like a higher value, obviously $1.5, I've taken a reference value over here. Again, looking at all these things, we and 150 GSM, obviously the shell would be heavier GSM also. So we get 4.44 meters per kg. Now what impact does that have? Let's see. So we've taken a 20%. Yeah, if you see the calculation also, I've taken a 20% on the INR value of the goods, which is giving me a import duty of 22.5 rupees. Against this, if I take 150 per kg in the import duty of 4.4, so here 33 rupees 33.75 is the applicable import duty now, right? So this is giving me a differential of 11 rupees. So my cost increase over here is about 11 rupees. 50% is increased in the import duty. So all these things, because you can see that there's a tremendous amount of duty which is being impacted because of this notification. Also, as a trade, it's very important to understand that a lot of importers get into the practice of doing under invoicing, because of which, like for example, I've taken 50 cents per meter over here. A lot of people would be importing this thing at something like, if I'll just give you an example, at something like the 20 cents per meter. Yeah. So when I look at 20 cents per meter, you can see that the effectively a lot of imported, which was supplying taffeta fabric particularly, was only paying something like a 3 rupees per meter duty. Yeah, and for them it's like a 400% jump in the import duty. So that is where all these things are being impacted, and a lot of import is being impacted in this manner, and somehow the industry at large would have to absorb these costs, at least till the time being there is no further notification which is expected. So yeah, thankfully as a company, buyers who've been dealing with our company would have minimal amount of impact, because as a company we have been following the custom tariffs very ethically, and whatever import duty is there, we are paying the complete duties on the full value of the goods. That is why the impact on us would be relatively less, and our buyers would be relatively less impacted, but whatever differential is there would certainly be have to be shared in the industry. Further, this particular heading was 5407, which was non-texturized. Along with this, I would also like to mention that we have a lot of import, which is 540752, which is the texturized filament yarn polyester fabrics, which also on which there is no direct implication of import duty change, but at the same time, a lot of fabric which was imported in that category was being imported under the uh, DFIA, duty free import licenses, which were available in the market. Now, because such a big amount of demand has come into the market, those licenses are in short supply. That is because that is only against the exports which are being done from India. So obviously you understand the balance of trade in this particular category is very adverse. So the amount of import is way higher than the amount of export that is being done. So that is where there's a lot of pressure on these further imports. If that, even wherever licenses were being used, that license costs have gone up, license availability is in short supply. So it will be very important to look at this thing very cautiously, and whatever orders need to be booked, we'll have to be booking more in advance, and with a proper planning of the entire supply chain on this matter. So I hope this short video has helped you understand in a little better context as to why and how this duty change is going to impact you. Still, if there's any further clarity, you can always approach us. We will also try to get necessary updates and keep providing you from time to time. Thank you very much.